Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to our channel here at Harvest Hope Farmstead. Hope you're having a great month of July. We are in the month of July. So wanted to hop on and do a quick farmstead update on what's going on. Of course, we've got our meat chickens here and I'll show you them. And then we'll get into the produce and the egg layers and just show what's going on. So stick around. Here is one half of our meat birds here. So we split them up because they were getting a little too big for the one brooder that we had them in. So we decided to break them up and split half. So it's roughly about 10 in this one here, and this brooder here. And they are getting huge. They'll be going outside over the next week, getting the electric fencing and everything set up for that. And we've got the other ones over here. And then we are, like I said, they're getting big, so we're gonna get to them outside soon. All right, and here we go. We're gonna start off with the corn patch or cornfield here and take a look at that. And as you can see, the corn is growing pretty large here. It's getting pretty big since our last update. And like I said in the last video, that this side, these rows on this end were planted about a week or a week and a half after this. So it's gonna be a little shorter, but it's gonna probably yield a little bit after. So, but here is the current looking of the corn patch. Cornfield, mini cornfield, whatever you wanna call it. We will have corn regardless. As you can see here, we've got our basil growing. I've already harvested some of this, but it just continues to keep growing, and it will continue to. As long as I keep harvesting off of it, it will continue to keep growing. As you can see, we've got a little bit of pest eating going on here, but not damaging the entire plant. So I think we're still in pretty good shape with that, as long as I keep harvesting it. So I might do some of that today. Then looking here at the rosemary and thyme plant, again, something I've harvested a couple times now, and it just keeps on continuing to grow. So, and we'll check in with those guys in a little bit. Here's also the parsley plant. Showing some parsley here, growing it. It's growing as well. I've harvested that a couple times as well. And here's our dill plant. It is getting pretty tall. I've harvested a little bit of that, but I'm trying to make it grow a little bit more, but still harvesting from it. Okay, now we're gonna move into some of the tomatoes and take a look at those and see how they're growing, and take a look and see how they're doing. All right, so taking a look at our tomatoes here, they seem to be growing really well and getting pretty tall here. I also wanted to show you guys something. So you see these like mushroom fungus things growing here in the garden. So through some research, I found out that those, what I first thought was something wrong with my soil or something wrong with my garden, actually turns out to be just showing that the microorganisms that are growing underneath the soil are doing their job, and the soil from previous year and also just things that I throw in here from compost are still living organisms and are just helping with the soil. So there's nothing to be alarmed. At first I was freaking out, but good to know that it's just all a part of what happens, especially when you grow things in raised beds. So just a moisture thing. They usually are gone within a day or two, so they don't last long. Sometimes within a couple of hours, they're usually dead or dropped over, like these are here. As all people who know, who grow tomatoes or grow plants that have to be held together with a trellis or stake, you have to then kind of keep that going. And I found an interesting tool online last year that this year has come in great handy. It's kind of like this tool that just, when you want to connect them, instead of using twist ties or other forms or methods, you can just kind of grab this here. It goes around and then it'll bring the plant together. and keep it kind of going on that trellis effect. So it's a great tool. I've been enjoying it this year. It's been very helpful with keeping the tomatoes alongside these growing sticks that I have growing in here. So it's been a great tool to have. Now over to the bed that kind of has just gotten wild. One of the two that have just kind of gotten wild over the past 2 weeks is the green beans. As you can see, we got a lot of green bean leafage here going on. Great healthy leaves, no real big pest problem at all, which is grateful. And then as you can see in the middle, we have the cucumber, the bush cucumber plants, and as you see, it's starting to make its way out of the planter, which is fine. It'll just droop down on the sides, and I've kind of made it and trained it to go that way, going that way, so that it'll grow underneath of the pepper plants versus coming into the bush green beans where it would kind of grab onto those and get intertwined. It can kind of grow underneath the pepper plants, which have more of a stalk and kind of grow up anyway. So yeah, as you can see, our pepper plants are doing pretty well this year. They're starting to produce some bits of fruit here, and we have some plants. We've got that green pepper coming in there. We've got a jalapeno pepper coming in over there. I don't know if you can see that there. And then we've got, again, these peppers growing right in here. So yeah, just seeing what's happening with the pepper plants. But like I said, training the cucumber plants to kind of go in this direction. And anyone who's ever grown bush cucumbers, you know, you kind of have to get down and look in between once they start growing, because you will miss one and you'll end up with a very large overgrown cucumber if you miss any. So yep, just checking daily to see if there's any cucumbers starting. Not really, a whole bunch of flowers, but not any cucumbers that have really started just yet. Now over to the other way jungle growing plants here, which is the yellow squash that we have growing here. And I'm just gonna pull back these leaves here, and see if you can see in there. As you can see, we've got some yellow squash growing in there. Hopefully you can see that. Taking off. We've already picked one, so hopefully we will continue to get nice size yellow squash. A bunch of male plants in there, hopefully producing some female plants. But yeah, this is our very big, very large squash plant. I don't know if we talked about this in the last video, but this bed here is our asparagus bed. Hopefully next season we will have some asparagus growing in here. This year they're kind of doing their thing with their roots. We bought 2-year-old asparagus crowns, and they appear to be showing some signs of life with the roots. But I know next year we'll see more life, but they're kind of just doing their thing and letting us know that, hey, we're alive, we're trying. Nothing for you yet this year though. And this is something that I did not think would actually take off, but it actually seems to be doing pretty well based on the leaves and what I see going on here. But this will be, well, this is a beet. So we got here, we've got quite a few beet shoots going on in this plant, so it seems to be doing really well and surviving back here. So seems to be really healthy. So we'll continue to watch it and see if we've got some beet growth. It looks like there might be some going on there. So yeah, just something to keep an eye out for. I don't know about in your area, but over the past 2 weeks we've had a lot of storms here in Maryland, so I've had to kind of train these 2 squash plants. This is a yellow squash plant, another one, and then this one is a zucchini plant. As you can see, there is a zucchini growing right up in there. So we got one of like 2 that are coming in. So, but I've had to train them to kind of go in a vertical direction versus growing outward. So as you can see, I've got quite a few stakes in here and they're growing in a vertical direction. So hopefully, first time trying it this way, so hopefully have some luck this year with that. So yeah. And probably the last of our tour with the largely grown things here, which is the potato plants. As you can see, they are huge, very grown plants here. And it looks like that maybe these potato plants might be getting to a point where they're getting ready to say, hey, we're going to start dying off and you can pick us in a few weeks. Stay tuned for that. Not really sure, but maybe. So we'll see what happens. But they are definitely very grown, very large plants here. And the last plant, before I show you one thing I did want to talk about with this video this week is we have the peanut plant, which is really showing some great growth and great potential. First time growing peanuts, so really excited to see how that's going to happen and see how that's going to grow, but it's doing its thing. So hopefully we'll start seeing some yellow flowers. When you start seeing yellow flowers on it, that means that the peanuts will start growing shoots down into the ground. And when the yellow flowers die off, you have peanuts. So similar to the potato plant, when the green leaves die off, and about a week after they die off and they're really dried up and it looks like you failed, it really didn't fail because, or you didn't lose the plant because actually it's done what it needs to do and the leaves have done their life cycle and it's over. So it's time to harvest. So yeah. And coming up to the last of the two plants is the sweet potatoes. And this plant of our sweet potatoes seems to be doing really well. It's like growing a lot of vines, which is a really good sign for sweet potatoes. It's gonna probably grow a lot more leaf. It kind of grows like ivy growing on a wall. It grows like vigorously, or maybe even like, I guess you could say watermelon or melons, how their vines grow vigorously, or squash. But they're just kind of growing out of here and they'll just keep growing, but that means that there are sweet potatoes growing underneath. But unfortunately, of the two bags that we have, it looks like we lost one. This one seems to have died off. So I probably will try to plant maybe some lettuce in here, check the soil to make sure everything is good, but probably going to try to grow some lettuce in here and make sure there's no hidden sweet potatoes in here that I did try to grow. But if it's all clear, I'm probably just going to go ahead and just plant some lettuce in here and try to get some succession planting going on. But yeah, that's what happens when you're growing things. You don't have 100% success 100% of the time, but that's the fun and interesting part about it too. You learn a lot and you learn things to improve for future opportunities. Okay, well, on to people's favorite part, which is our chickens. So I'm going to be putting some fresh water in there. I just changed their waters here, as you can see. 2 buckets are here. I'm gonna do their water, but I'm gonna change their water up and put some fresh water in here and put them in the coop, and I will show you the chickens, which I know is everyone's favorite part. Have some fresh water. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. And the young ones still know to move out of the way of the hens, because they know that they got to move out of the way. But everybody's wondering what is he about to bring, and I'm just bringing you water, ladies. And they immediately love good fresh water, so try to do that most often as possible. Feeder and water in here, so as to ensure we have one over there, and then we have these 2 over here, and we have another water over there. So kind of helps cut down on the bickering or trying to be territorial over feed and water. So all right, everyone, so here's where I will end today's video and vlog update on the farmstead, in the chicken coop, and again, in mostly everyone, if not everyone's favorite place. So I'm going to end this video here, but hope everyone's having a great day, whatever day you're watching this. And again, if you enjoy this content, we will continue to make it. But remember to like, subscribe, and share the video too, and comment as well. We'd love to hear your comments about things you're doing in your chickens and vegetables and produce. So always want to hear great ideas and great things. So until next time.